And we have an update for you tonight on a pair of wildfires that broke out this weekend in Brunswick County. One happened in the Winnebago area, the other in the Northwest community. Investigators determined both sparked after open burns got out of control. WECT's J.C. Caldwell talked with reps from the Forest Service about it today. Now, J.C., they're saying that this is a problem all across the entire state of North Carolina.
Yeah, John, that's right. Officials told me today they've responded to over 800 wildfires across North Carolina just within the past week. And they say it's something you can help prevent. Fire crews took to the skies and had boots on the ground on Saturday, working to put out a large brush fire in Northwest, which is in Brunswick County. People even sent in videos that afternoon saying they saw a helicopter carrying water to help out.
Obviously, Saturday was pretty dry and warm, and then we had some pretty significant wind gusts as well. So that's really the perfect recipe.
That recipe sparked up another brush fire on Saturday shortly after in Winnebago.
Containing those wildfires can be extremely challenging.
According to fire officials, both of those fires are now contained and there are no injuries or homes impacted. But officials say they were also both caused by someone's open burning getting out of control, which seems to be a problem across the state.
It's been a pretty active week.
North Carolina Forest Service official Philip Jackson says they've responded to 806 wildfires, which burned over 3,300 acres just within the past week. And that number isn't uncommon.
Here it is spring wildfire season. We kind of officially enter that once March rolls around.
Just because it's wildfire season, though, doesn't mean they're easy to fight, especially in southeastern North Carolina.
Sometimes the topography is rather swampy, and you have the marshlands and the thick precocium soils. It's not easy for us to get personnel in some of those areas.
Jackson says you can help make their job much easier by avoiding any burning with the drought conditions we have right now.
Anyone who's burning at this time is really running the risk of starting the next wildfire.
Well, the National Weather Service also put out a fire danger warning today for southeast North Carolina and northeast South Carolina. John?
Well, J.C., any other burn bans in place other than the one we talked about earlier?
Well, North Carolina isn't under a burn ban right now. However, Brunswick County is, so officials are really trying to emphasize and warn people not to burn.
Yep. All right, J.C., appreciate it. Thanks. All right, let's